Happy Monday, everyone. We are going to be talking today about right sizing your home, aka downsizing potentially. Right sizing real estate is basically just making sure you're in the right size of home that you need in the stage of life that you're in. So what we're going to do is just going to run through a quick presentation. It will be open, so if you have questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. If I don't see them while we're doing this live, I will certainly go back and answer any questions that you might have. But this is just generic information for anyone who kind of maybe just wants to see, what kind of information or what is it like downsizing? What does it mean? Can I do it when I'm in my 30s, my 40s? And again, it's not really downsizing, it's right sizing. So it's kind of just getting into a home that's the right size for you in the chapter that you're in your life. So let's go into this. So unlock freedom at any stage of life. So why this matters. So for many homeowners, housing costs eat up more than 30% of their income. Seniors often feel trapped in a big house they no longer need, with a substantial amount of equity tied up after years or decades of ownership. Younger families may have stretched too far and want financial independence sooner. This has become a very popular thing. As a side note, many people during COVID purchased homes and were given mortgages above and beyond really what the realistic price point that they may have or that they should have stayed in. So a lot of young families are coming to terms with, hey, you know what? We don't need this big house. We are going to downsize or right size our real estate and potentially come up with a financial plan that helps you to get into financial independence sooner rather than later. If you've stretched yourself in your house poor and you continue to stay house poor, it is not going to be a very fun ride. And it takes a lot of pride to swallow, or I don't know how I'm supposed to say that, but it takes a lot to swallow your pride, I guess is what I'm trying to say. When you realize that you are cash strapped in your house poor, and it takes a lot to say, you know what, it just makes sense to downsize or to right size right now, so that in the future we can be financially independent sooner. So downsizing or right sizing isn't giving up, it's gaining freedom, liquidity, and peace of mind. What is downsizing or right sizing? Downsizing is intentionally moving into a home that matches your current needs and your goals, freeing equity, time, and energy. I prefer to call it right sizing because it's about creating a home that truly fits your life in this chapter that you're in right now. So there are a lot of myths involved with downsizing, and a lot of things that I hear is, downsizing is only for retirees. That's not true. Anyone who wants flexibility can benefit from downsizing or right sizing. I'll lose status or comfort. Most find that their quality of life improves. I can tell you, when you live in a big house, there's lots of responsibilities, there's lots of cleaning. And I mean, when you have a smaller space, you have to get rid of things that you don't necessarily need. You have less space to fill and you have less space to clean. So oftentimes it does help. Smaller equals cramped? No, smaller layouts just means less clutter and more freedom. So there are also lifestyle benefits attached to right sizing. So these are just a few, but not limited to simplifying and decluttering, less stuff, less stress, easier to clean and maintain, accessible designs for aging in place. So if you are in a home and you are aging and you're getting to an age where stairs are maybe more difficult for you, an accessible design is a huge benefit to you if you are not having to struggle with stairs every day. And then the freedom to travel, volunteer, or pursue your hobbies. There are actually a lot of financial benefits along with this, especially for those of us who are younger, who maybe see this as something that just isn't what we want to do necessarily, but financially it makes total sense. So unlock built up equity to boost your retirement savings, invest for growth, travel, create a travel or a freedom fund, pay off or shrink your mortgage. So you would cut property taxes, utilities, insurance, lower maintenance equals more cash flow for what matters. So generally speaking, you get a smaller home, the taxes are going to be less, the utilities are going to cost you less, insurance should be less, cleaning time, all those things should be less if you are putting yourself into a smaller home. So when is the right time? So the best time is when your home no longer serves your goals. And that can be from a space perspective, but also from a financial perspective. So if you're struggling with stairs or upkeep, spending too much income on your housing, wanting to free cash for lifestyle or retirement, and market conditions are favoring sellers. So let's go back to the COVID times for a moment. If you were in a position to be considering downsizing at that time, maybe you were downsizing, maybe you're going into a retirement home, ideal situation if you were selling during COVID and not actually buying. So if all you had to do was sell and go into a retirement home during COVID, you made bank. You made some really good money during those times. So you often, like if it's a major buyer's market and you're not really super motivated and it doesn't really need to happen, then you could take a look at the outlook of the market and just kind of start to plan strategically so you're making the move in the right time frame that makes sense for you. But also, if you can align with the market, obviously that's ideal too. So downsizing facts, these are interesting. Most downsizers are happy. 91% of Canadian boomers who downsized say they're happier or happy with their decision. Only about 8% regret the move. 18% of boomer homeowners have already downsized, and another 34% plan to do so in the future. Roughly half, 47%, of all boomer homeowners feel the cost of downsizing is worth it. It's not just for seniors, though. About 1 in 5 younger homeowners are considering downsizing to reduce debt and to reach financial independence faster. Rising costs of living make smaller homes appealing across all age groups. Lifestyle gains. Downsizers often report feeling less stressed and enjoying more time for travel, hobbies, and family. So when you're starting to prepare your home to downsize or to right size and sell, the list ready process, which I talk about a lot, that you can watch lots of videos on YouTube about, just getting your home list ready, is to start to declutter early. And I would recommend doing it one room at a time. It can get very overwhelming if you have a large home and you start to declutter and to downsize things and you feel like, I don't even know where to start. I always try and recommend just start in one room, get one room done, and then move to the next room. And if you are getting rid of things and maybe you don't have a bin or something at home, you can also obviously donate those items that you may not be using that are still in good shape. You can just make a few trips to the thrift store or Value Village or wherever you go to donate your items. Or if you're, getting rid of unusable things, you can order a bin and have that delivered. Once you've gone through all the rooms, maybe you can just pick a spot in your home to sort of house all the stuff that you're going to donate and then just do one big dump run or one big run with your bin. Small updates, so paint, lighting, and curb appeal are always a big thing too, especially when you're getting ready to sell. I wouldn't say, like, if you're a couple of years out, don't start painting and doing that stuff yet. But if you're like 6 months or less closer to selling, then I would say having these small updates started will be beneficial to you. Repair obvious issues. So if things are breaking, you should really be fixing them. Maintaining your home in good working order is key, because when you let things go, it just seems to snowball, and sometimes it can get out of hand. And then you realize that you've got like $10,000 worth of things that you need to fix, when in reality, you could have just fixed that one thing at a time and it would have been more manageable. And then staging for warm, inviting first impressions. I don't often say you have to get staging by a company. You can often stage with your own items in your home to make it look presentable for when you are getting ready to go on the market. So your next steps. So reflect on the lifestyle and your financial goals. Download the workbook and complete the readiness checklist. Book a free downsizing discovery call with me and begin a custom market evaluation. So this is a no pressure kind of thing. If you want to have me come and take a look at your home and just share what you're thinking about doing and your timelines, I can help give perspective on what makes sense for you right now and how you can start to prepare based on where you are at with your decision. Some people are 5 years out, but honestly, this is another really good tip to keep in mind is if you are downsizing from a home to, say, a retirement home, make sure you get yourself on the list of your retirement home that you are hoping to get into, because their wait lists are crazy. So make sure that you are working well in advance, because you can get to the top of that list, I believe, and then just keep letting people go through you if you are not ready. But when you are ready, you're at that top of the list. Instead of realizing when you're ready to sell and go into your retirement home and they tell you it's a 3 to 5 year wait, then that kind of messes up your plans. So make sure that you are doing that due diligence and putting yourself and getting yourself on those lists so that your move is not delayed. And then, like I said, I can come to your home, we can take a look, we can chat about your timelines, and I can give you perspective, and we can just see what makes sense for you. Absolutely no strings attached. And then we can also look at evaluating your home and what your home could be worth in today's market. So are you ready to right size your life? Let's create a downsizing plan that gives you freedom, security, and peace of mind. My name is Michelle Ellis. I am a real estate agent who works in Hastings in Northumberland County. I've been a real estate agent since 2014, so it's been a while. You can reach me directly at that cell phone number there, 613-743-5313. And if you scan the QR code, that is going to give you my rightsizers guide. So if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a quick message, send me a text, give me a call. I would be happy to sit down with you and have a chat about how I can help you right size your life. Take care, and we'll see you on the next video.